Horror storytelling. The deal sounded perfect. Free place to live, no questions asked. But what she didn't realize was that she had already been watched long before she ever stepped inside that house. At 21, she felt like she had nothing left tying her down. No family connection, no real future, just a dead-end job and a constant urge to disappear from everything familiar. So when she found the listing, free housing in exchange for simple chores, it didn't feel risky. It felt like an escape. The house sat in a quiet neighborhood, almost too quiet. The kind of place where everything looks normal at first glance, neatly trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, but something feels off when you stay long enough. When the door opened, the man standing there didn't match the image she had built in her head. He was older, taller. His smile lingered just a second too long, but he welcomed her in like they'd known each other for years. Inside, the house felt ordinary. A kitchen, a living room, stairs leading up to a hallway lined with closed doors. He showed her the guest room she'd be staying in, but skipped over the others without explanation. That should have been enough. But she said yes anyway. The first night, she noticed the cameras, not hidden, just sitting in corners, silently watching. She told herself it made sense. After all, she was a stranger in his home. Still, he never mentioned them. That night, she lay in bed listening to the house breathe. Soft creaks in the floor, a faint sound like a door closing somewhere downstairs. She checked the time, 1:32 a.m. And then, silence again. She convinced herself it was nothing. Old houses make noise, that's what everyone says. The next morning, he was gone, just like he promised. A note waited on the counter. Simple chores, nothing unusual. Clean, cook, maintain the house. And for a few days, everything felt normal. But normal didn't last. One night, after making dinner, she noticed his expression change the second he tasted it. His face tightened, his tone shifted. Suddenly, he wasn't calm anymore. He snapped. Not loudly, not violently, but enough. And then, just like that, he walked away. The next morning, he laughed it off, like it never happened. But then he said something that made her stomach drop. Something that didn't sound like a joke, even though he smiled when he said it. That was the moment the illusion cracked. But she stayed, because leaving meant going back to a life she didn't want. A few days later, something strange happened. While driving, another car followed her. Close, too close. When she pulled over, a girl stepped out. Same age, same uneasy expression. And without hesitation, she told her the truth. That man wasn't who he said he was. She explained things slowly, carefully, as if saying them too loud might make them worse. He watched everything, not just through the visible cameras. There were more, hidden ones. And the worst part? He wasn't leaving the house during the day. He was still there, listening, watching, waiting. Back inside, the house felt completely different. Every corner suddenly felt occupied, every shadow too dark. That night, she searched her room. At first, nothing. Then, something. Small. Tucked into the corner of the closet shelf, a tiny lens pointed directly at her bed. She didn't react, didn't touch it, just slowly put everything back exactly how it was, like she never saw it. Because now she understood something important. If he knew she knew, things could get worse. That night, she didn't sleep. She just stared into the darkness, waiting. And sometime deep into the night, she heard it, her door slowly opening. Her body froze before she even turned her head. There he was, standing in the doorway, not saying anything, just looking. He noticed her eyes open, paused, then quietly apologized and closed the door, like nothing happened. That was it. No more second chances. The next morning, she started planning. Not all at once, that would be too obvious. Instead, she moved slowly, one bag at a time. Every day, something small disappeared from the room until there was nothing left. 3 days later, she walked out like she was just running errands and never came back. But even after she left, it didn't end. Days later, she received a notification. Someone tried logging into her account from that same town. And that's when it really hit her. He didn't just watch her in that house, he tried to follow her after. And maybe the scariest part of all is that she never found out how long he'd been watching her before she ever moved in. Because some traps are already set long before you realize you